And we are live. It is Saturday morning. I was just thinking like, you know what? Why don't I go live? I was about to make a video all about kind of recent pickups and that sort of stuff. But I was thinking, you know what? Maybe it would be actually kind of fun to just go live and just show kind of my eBay recent purchases and talk through that. And then also talk with anybody that might be interested in sharing what they've been looking at and so forth. So here we are, friends. I know this is very spur of the moment. I just decided to do it like half an hour ago. So yeah, I did throw in my eBay affiliate link into the chat. If you want to follow along and support the channel at the same time, it's there. If not, that's totally cool too. It's totally up to you. But for those that want to join on a Saturday, I know most of you are probably out doing things with your family or whatever. I'm going to be doing more of that later, but I was like, you know what? Let's take a few minutes and jump on. Let's see if there's anybody in the chat as of yet. I'm showing 19 people. Is anybody out there in the chat? Can you hear me? I'll wait a little bit before I share screen and do all that stuff. By the way, shout out to Iconic Al. Iconic Al is a great, well, Iconic Al is Iconic Baseball on YouTube. So definitely check out Iconic Baseball. Great channel. He gave me this card. It's numbered 4 out of 5. It's like, it's heavy and everything too. He always comes across, like he always comes to the National with really cool stuff. There we go. We got one. Bubba Fett. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jeff P. What is going on? What are we buying today? All right, good. I can share screen. I think we've got enough people. We got about 30 people so far. 2 minutes in. Go ahead and share my screen here. Ryan, I have not bought any vintage. You would actually be upset. I have not been buying probably enough vintage, but having a good time anyway. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this thing. 1 second. Hang with me, everybody. Hang with me. All right. Hopefully you can see this. Let's just double check here. Yeah, it looks like everybody can see. All right, so some recent eBay purchases. I'm going to talk through some of this stuff. So you guys know, if you watch my channel, Stranger Things is obviously high on my priority list. This is that new Fright Flicks box that came out right before the National. They snuck that in. And it's kind of fun because it's $50 for a box, kind of like a blaster box, similar to what they did going back a few months, except it's got different types of parallels. There are autos in it, but not much. It's very, very, very few. And there's like a 1-of-1 auto that's it's Vecna plus Eddie. And it's the first time either one of those have signed for a Stranger Things card. So that's a huge, huge chase. So this is kind of cool. It's the, you know, it's the Vecna before he becomes Vecna versus 11 picture. Kind of fun little thing there. So yeah, this is the numbered parallel out of 86. So the regular cards are just kind of, you know, paper cards. And then you've got these 86 parallels that are numbered to 86. Alvin Kamara as a Saints homer. Hold on. Let's get back to chat a little bit here. Tuning in from Eastern Canada. What's going on? Josh is coming in from Bangkok. How about that? Thoughts on Topps Chrome and 2022 anniversary Chrome just released. I have not looked at it, Jeff. I'm behind on the Topps Chrome stuff. Talatiga, what is going on? Man, we got a global audience in here today. All right, and also if you want to look at things, if there's certain things on eBay that you're looking at, let me know. I'll search it up here, but I was just going to go through some of my more recent buys. I was just going to make a video, but like I said, I just figured, hey, why not, you know, go live and talk through it. So hold on 1 second. Let me get back here. But yeah, throw anything that you've got, you know, in the chat. I would love to, you know, hear what you guys are looking into. So I recently bought a gold prism. I think the one I got was, what was it, from 2021? I was looking at all sorts of gold prisms numbered out of 10, because a lot of the new products, especially once you get past 2020, so many parallels, so many parallels. And so, you know, the thought is that if I'm going to buy kind of a newer product of some of my Saints guys, then I need to make sure that it's numbered. The gold stuff is kind of an easy one, to where they're not making a lot. Now I know they've got gold shimmer. I know they've got, a variety of different things, but I was like, I've got to make sure that I'm not getting like the number, or if I'm going to get a card that's numbered to 199 from a newer set that, I'm okay paying a lot. I mean, I need to pay a lot less for it. I mean, this kind of shows you too. This is Alvin Kamara. I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan. So his 2021 numbered out of 10. This is the pure gold prism for him for 69 with tax tag title. But yeah, I've been looking at some of my favorite players. I've got some Breeze stuff, so I wanted to get some, especially Alvin Kamara being suspended. A lot of his cards are very inexpensive. So that was kind of a fun one to get, and we'll see what happens. All right, if you guys have been watching, like at the National, my 2 pickups from the National, I'm going to try to do kind of a bunch of things at once here. Can I show this here? So yeah, this is a 2018 Blue Scope Tom Brady, numbered out of 99. It's in a BGS 9.5 holder. And then really one of my favorite football sets, 2017 Prism. This is the light blue version, numbered out of 199. So I've been buying a lot of Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Breeze are really kind of my guys that I buy the most of. But especially, Tom Brady is one that I'm really, really focused on. And I love the Prism products. Let me see if I can, hold on. I'm going to come off of this screen in a second and show a different one. But I just wanted to show here that I picked up his Hyper Prism going back to 2018. It's numbered to 275. I don't believe I've got 2018 pulled up. Actually, yeah, we'll stay right here. I'm going to pull up a different screen and just kind of show. Let me flip out of this and let's share. Is this the one we want? Yeah, okay. Hold 1 second. This one. Okay. All right. So this is 2017. Ironically, they've got Brady's base card right here. But if you look at the parallels, just the regular parallels, the stuff I stay away from, Prism green, red, blue, although blue is cool as far as the color match with the Patriots, pink, red, white, blue, these are very, very common for the most part. So I stay away from the retail stuff, the retail exclusives. And I'm not a huge fan of orange. It's okay out of 275. But, the Prism light blue is the one that I picked up while at the National. And then once you kind of go down here, so these 2 cards, there's a copy of the Prism Red Power, numbered out of 49, and the Prism Purple Crystals. I know you will laugh. A lot of the vintage people will be like, Prism Purple Crystals, why aren't you buying Bart Starr vintage cards? I get it. I've got some of that stuff too, but hear me out here. So both of these, there's a 1 copy and a PSA 10 for each of these that just sold. I was the underbidder. I lost both of them. But it just kind of shows you, if you compare to like 2020, 2021, 2022 product where you've got a zillion different parallels, go back to 2017. And I pretty much stop at 2018. And that's where the parallels really start to pick up after 2018 in football. The sports card stepdad. I would not sue you, Gabriel. That's hilarious. The shimmer, Paul, the shimmer. I like some of the shiny stuff. I like the vintage stuff, but I definitely like the shiny stuff too. All right. So that's my whole point, I guess, when I'm looking at some of the Prism parallel type stuff, and especially depending on the player. But look, there's a 300 card base set for most of these. And depending on whatever player you like, I'll share a couple purchases of a player that's under the radar, I would say, not a Tom Brady at all. But it kind of shows you just, with rarity, once you go down this list a little bit, you can get into, especially in a 10 grade, you're getting into some fairly scarce stuff that doesn't really pop up a whole lot. I'll go back to my recent purchase list in a second. Thoughts on Chris Olave? I love Chris Olave. He looked great last year, and he's having a great camp. Hopefully it's football. You can stay healthy. But yeah, Chris Olave has been an absolute stud. We got a lot of heat, I think, from Paul actually in the chat about the trade up to get Chris Olave. But I can't imagine our receiving core right now without Chris Olave, considering Michael Thomas hasn't really played meaningful football in 2 years. He's coming back, hopefully. But, we signed 36-year-old Jimmy Graham. It was a little light without kind of a playmaker like Olave. So, yeah, I've been really impressed with him. And hopefully, he and Derek Carr can get off to, a strong start. We'll see. We got Jeff P in here. Go Bears. Yeah, there's a lot of excited Bears fans waiting for Justin Fields to do his Jalen Hurts impression and do big things in Chicago. And then we got a Dolphins fan, very Victorian Lady 1. Thanks for joining. All right, so what cards are you all buying and looking at? I'll go back over here to, hold on, let me stop sharing. I'll go back to my eBay. Share screen. Okay. All right, so the Chimera Gold, we got the Hyper Prism Tom Brady, and I'm just hoping this grades out of 10. I got it for $100, and it might be a little bit on the higher end, but it is it's numbered to 275. I like the Hypers. 2018 is kind of a funny year too, where his Prism card, there's kind of this like speculation. I don't know if there's anything to it, but his Silver Prism, if you go and look up the cost for his Silver Prism in 2018, it's very high. It's very high. And the thought is that Silver Prisms in 2018 products are more rare than in other years. At least that's what the belief is. But yeah, there was a crazy sale during the height where a Tom Brady PSA 10 Silver Prism went for $25,000. Now they go for anywhere from, $1,500 to $2,500 or something. They're still expensive, but obviously not $25,000. All right. So another true gold, if we come down here to Chimera, $56, tax tag title. And again, it's like, if I'm going to buy a new parallel, I need it to be a gold out of 10. And plus it matches the Saints color scheme. So, those are going to be fun cards to own. And you know what? If Alvin Kamara, who knows, maybe he goes nuts and he has 40 touchdowns and breaks all the records, Eric Dickerson's rushing record and all this stuff, then who knows? Maybe the card will go up and I'll end up moving it, but we'll see. Here's another example. Now, not the red refractor that's not numbered. This is the red wave from 2018, numbered to 149, and that's why I picked this one up. There's another buy it now for this card on eBay for like $600. This one popped up at like 179 plus tax, and so I was pretty excited to get that one. Let's see if there's a live streaming and browsing. Yeah, Fetar, just trying something new, a little bit different. I know it's Saturday morning, so the idea that we're going to get anybody here, we've got 48 people in the chat, or 48 people watching, so I appreciate you guys showing up. I do have my eBay affiliate link as well in the chat if you want to follow along and support the channel. I don't have a PayPal donation link or a Patreon or anything like that, but if you happen to be making eBay buys, I do have that sitting there in the chat. It's also in the video description, but zero pressure whatsoever. Actually, too, this has been fairly recent over the last couple of weeks where I've had a little bit of volume buying. Fetar have not really been. I wouldn't say I've been buying a lot of volume, but over the last 2 weeks or so, a little bit of budget to get into some stuff. So, and just basically selling off other things. I'll get down here. Hold on, where are we? So yeah, we've got the 2018 Prism Brady going along with the theme again of where we were at the National. I'm not sure if this is going to show up right on the camera, but the blue scope from 2018 is one that I picked up at the National. And so here's where we get into speculation territory. Derek Carr. So the same sort of card that I would get for Tom Brady. We got my boy Derek Carr for $3. It's numbered out of 199. Tax tag title shipped to my door for $3.32. An example of a player that I'm Vegas daving. And I bought into some Derek Carr. For me, look, I'm a Saints season ticket holder. I'm not just a casual fan. I've been a fan for 35 years since I was 7 years old. So, for me, this was kind of a fun, like, okay, if, here's a chance for me to buy some actually pretty top tier cards of a player that nobody thinks is going to do anything in New Orleans, which, look, he might not do anything. I also bought a couple of Jameis Winston cards last year when he became the starter, and it didn't quite work out for me. So, but with Derek Carr, I feel a little bit better. I saw a stat where he had not had a better than a top 20 NFL defense in Las Vegas playing for the Raiders. So I know he's 10 years into his career, and it's like, this guy hasn't done anything. He hasn't had a really a solid Raiders all-around defense since he was there. I know they had Khalil Mack for a little bit, but they always had issues. And look, he's coming from a division where he's been up against Patrick Mahomes, for the last, 5 years. So the odds of him winning that division were already pretty low. And that's not even including Justin Herbert. Now, in the Broncos last year did not have a good season, but the Broncos generally are at least an average football team. So he's coming from a very, very good division out there in the AFC to a very weak division out here in the NFC South as it sits. the next week, live stream DoorDash. That's right. Yeah. Hey, I thought I would try something different today, guys. So thanks for humoring me here. All right, let's go back to the recent purchase list. A Walt Disney card. Let's just mix in some. Hey, you wanted vintage? I'm here for you, friends. Ryan McClanahan, Paul. This is the type of stuff that you came for. I paid up a little bit for this card. There was another 4 that sold yesterday or the day before for $520. So I paid $599, tax tag title $649, so $520 if you have to pay tax in your state through eBay. Then maybe it was $560, $570. So I did pay up. This is a weird card, though. This Disney card is a weird one, and what I mean by that is there's 2.5s, just like any vintage card. There's 2.5s that have gone for more than I paid for this 4. There's 5s that have gone for double what I paid for this 4. It's that beauty is in the eye of the beholder thing with vintage. This is a 1931 card too. This is a pre-war card. So yeah. Oh, you can't. Paul came from Mantle. Yeah. I'm going to, hot take here, but how does anybody feel that Mickey Mantle is a good buy at this stage, just given the absolute hype train around Mickey Mantle over the last couple of years? His 52 tops has just gotten so much fanfare and look, rightfully so, but who is buying into these cards thinking, you know what? This is going to go way up over time. I just feel, and look, maybe it does, but it's, I don't know. I mean, Mickey Mantle to me just seems kind of, like everyone's in on Mickey Mantle. I just don't know. There's nothing. It's kind of like a lot of Jordan cards. I know Michael Jordan cards are still hitting all-time highs for a lot of his really rare stuff. But again, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, Frank bailed on me. Volunteer Frank bailed. And so here we are, guys. We got 60 strong in here on a Saturday morning where you could be doing a lot of other things. So I appreciate you showing up. I'll dance through a few more of these pickups. And this won't be any sort of a 3-hour live stream. I decided I'd pop on for, 45 minutes, an hour, just talk through some of the recent buys. I was going to make a video on them. And then I was like, why don't I just go live, try this out? I'll throw my little eBay affiliate link thing into the chat. If anybody wants to send your purchases through that link, I'll get a little commission out of it. I appreciate you guys. Babe Ruth or bust for Paul if it's going to be investment style vintage baseball. Fair enough. But I think that even those like 33 Gaudis, there's so much heat around those. Oh, here we go. And now we've got somebody that's actually speaking from an area that knows what they're talking about. Just kidding, Paul. John Mangini, Mantle cards have always been overpriced and probably always will be. I've never gotten it. Yeah. Well, and probably just because you're astute in the game of baseball and you know all the other players that are probably, just as good or, maybe even better in some instances that don't get enough love. I feel like that's kind of the problem when you know a sport very well is you'll look at cards of other players. In football, I do this where it's like, why is, this selling for this when this player has already won Super Bowls or, I don't know, Roger Staubach versus Justin Herbert or whatever. So Orlando, thanks for, that's just something different. Yeah. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. I was like, I don't have a lot of time to put together a video this morning, but I do have time to kind of crank this out. Actually, my youngest son was sick this week, so we had to kind of go through and do homework over the last hour, and we're gearing up to do a bunch of family stuff in the afternoon, doing the pool thing and all that. So I was like, I'm just going to dive onto this live stream. Nothing goes up forever. Nothing goes up forever. We certainly learned that, didn't we? All right, let's go back to the pickup. So, hey, vintage collectors out there, 1931 Walt Disney rookie card in a 4. I've been looking at this card for a while and decided to pull the trigger on one. I would like to have more than one. Oh, we're back to Vegas Dave speculation territory. And some people are going to be like, Dustin, what on earth, dude? $338 for a Derek Carr card? Are you absolutely nuts? And fair enough. Fair enough. You're allowed to think that. This is not even a rookie card. This is a second year Derek Carr card. Pancake, I had I'll scroll up a little bit at the end. I did have a Stranger Things card a little bit earlier in the stream. I don't know where you're joining in, but there's some other things. Yes. Okay. So yes, we're going back to Derek, the man for the Saints this year. Carr so I was looking at gold prisms. Tom Brady gold prisms are a lot of money. I was making some comparisons. The 2018 gold prism. So same set as this one. This is the blue scope out of 99. So same exact card numbered out of 10. A PSA 10 for this card a couple months ago sold for 30 grand. 30 grand. Okay. So just remember that. Now, granted, different year. This is 2015, I believe, is this one that I picked up. This was $300, and it is in a 9. It's not in a 10, but it's kind of like, if I resent this in, 10 times to PSA, would I eventually get a 10? I'm just kidding. I know all the PSA people are going to get mad at me. But, Derek Carr, gold, second year, number to 10, $300. It just kind of felt like, hey, this is not a crazy amount of money to get a nice, one of the better cards. And again, if you go to 2015 Prism, there's not the 500 eel skin, prisms and all the stuff they have in 2022 and all that, and all that. It's actually, there's 7, 8, 9 different parallels, and the gold is really the best one. I think there might be like a vinyl out of 5 and a 1 of 1 or something. So a very good card. And again, Saints colors. So you got the color match thing going. So I went ahead and got a Derek Carr card. Why not get 2? Why not get 2? 2018 gold prism. And actually, just to clarify too, 2018 is my favorite prism set design of all time. So, and that's part of the reason why I like that Luka Doncic silver prism rookie card is I love the design from 2018. And so $240 tax tag title. It's not cheap. It's a 9. It's not a 10. But again, the Tom Brady in a 10 for this card went for $30,000. That's a heck of a multiplier. And I get it. Derek Carr hasn't done anything. I understand that. But to get kind of one of the better cards from that set for my starting quarterback, I was like, you know what? This is kind of fun. I'm gonna throw in a little bit and see what happens. I'm a believer. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's keep scrolling here. Stranger Things, Pancake Analytics. So this is from that Fright Flicks set that recently came out. And these are, and they had these at the National. They were, $50 a box. This is different from the blaster boxes that came out, the Butcher Billy Butcher $50 boxes. They came out with these Fright Flicks, which, if you remember, is a throwback to the 80s sets. So they had 80s sets of these Fright Flicks with Freddy Krueger and, all these different characters from scary movies. So I was like, man, this is really, really cool. So anyway, this card is numbered to 86. It's one of the parallels. I think it's the only Angela card, one of the characters. So I was like, this is kind of cool. And Pancake, I'll go up here. I'll scroll up a little bit. So the other one that I got is this picture, and it's Vecna versus 11 here, numbered out of 86, sunshine and rainbows, referencing kind of that back wall. And if you look closely, it's upside down because one here has not turned into Vecna, but the colors are upside down because he represents the upside down. Kind of a cool little Easter egg from the show. So if you're just If you're just showing up and you want to talk trash in the chat about recent purchases, feel free, guys. Feel free. We're not here. Look, I wasn't born yesterday. I've been through, I was in sales for 15 years. I can handle a little rejection. So you don't feel shy about telling me how dumb I am in the chat. Just kidding. No, well, yeah, it's all good. Alvin Kamara cards. I know all of you probably bought Alvin Kamara cards this morning, so that's all going to be the same. Tom Brady, Alvin Kamara, Derek Carr, Walt Disney. All right, let me get back to the chat and make sure that I'm okay. Here we go. Derek Carr is the next Jameis Winston bust. You could very well be true. Could very well be true. That could very well be true. There we go. I need to get more coffee. Topps Finest Brady cards. It's going to be controversial to say. I like the Prism stuff better than the Topps Chrome stuff. That's part of the reason why the whole Fanatics, Panini stuff bothers me, is because I really like the Prism designs. Look, I've got Topps Chrome Brady stuff. I've got Topps Brady stuff, but there's just something about that 2012 to 2018 stuff and beyond a little bit. I'm not going to buy Tom Brady in Bucks gear. I'm a Saints fan. I am not buying it. I'm not buying it in Bucks in a Bucks gear. I'm not going to own Tom Brady Bucks cards. Yeah, I'm not. But you could very well be right. It could be a Jameis Winston situation. We will see. Brady first year Prism card. Yeah, the base card is widely available. The silver Prism, and I mean the gold Prism is a monster. I mean, it's a 5-figure card, not 10,000. I mean, look, that 2018 PSA 10 Tom Brady gold went for $30,000. That's not even, I mean, the first year, I don't even know if there's been a sale recently. I'd love to check that out at some point, but yeah. I almost bought one of these, Paul. You know who talked me out of it? Dakota, Sports Card Anonymous. I sent him this and I was like, what do you think about, there's a couple on eBay right now. There's a couple, I was making offers. There's a PSA 8 for this card. Oh, but Paul, let me clarify the gold version. So the gold version numbered out of 10, XRC Select, beautiful card, color match with the Saints. He's asking, I think, 300 or so. And I offered like $180. There's also a Lattimore, exact same thing. Marshawn Lattimore, XRC gold, numbered out of 10. And so, but Dakota was like, that's for a Saints fan. That's not necessarily like, it's not, I don't see it holding value. So I've been kind of going back and forth on it. All right, let's see. That's really it for pickups over the last couple of weeks. Let's see. Let me stop share so that I don't. Let me see if there's anything else that could be interesting. See if I've had anything else. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could share screen. I just don't. There's a lot of Pancakes still in here. I still do have some non-sports stuff. Actually, let's go back. We'll go through. I'll go back through July 1st. Let's go back about 5 weeks. Yeah, but where do you have a raw gold? That's the thing though. Where are the raw ones? It's numbered out of 10. So it's either buy what's available or that's it. I mean, I haven't seen a raw one unless I missed it on eBay or somewhere else. All right, let's go back to the share screen. Okay. So yeah, Derek Carr, Silver Prism Silver, 2017, my favorite football set, modern football set. The light blue version at a $199. As kind of it was actually 2016. I was going to say I offered on a raw Tom Brady one, but it was actually 2016 blue Prism numbered out of 149? It was a lot more expensive than $6. This is a card that if you don't really know these, it kind of sneaks up on you. Like the Tom Brady version, again, not Tom Brady rookie card, but just the numbered out of 50 card is in the thousands of dollars. This is actually Derek Carr's rookie card. and it's numbered out of 50 with the team logo. This is a type of card that if he does go bananas, that I would look to move off of. Whereas the gold prisms, I think I would want to hold as a Saints fan because he doesn't have any Saints cards yet. But that's one that I would try to move off of because it's an expensive card typically, but it's just there's no excitement around Derek Carr other than in my house at this point. All right, a couple more of these silver prisms. Pancake, here's where we get into some of the non-sports stuff. Picked up Stranger Things. It's a Murray autograph, upside down set from 2019, $68. It's on card. It's numbered to 99. Actually, just got that one graded up. Let me see if I can. It graded a 10 auto, 9.5 card grade. All right. Let's go back here. Thundercats lunchbox, 85 lunchbox, $64. Includes the thermos sitting on my desk. I'm a Thundercats nerd. Okay, so this is first year Stranger Things 2018 on card for Noah Schnapp. He plays Will Byers, who is going to have a huge part in season 5. But again, numbered out of 25. This is first year Stranger Things stuff on card. This is the purple parallel. 266 might seem like a lot, but I was actually talking to my buddy Flippin' Steve. The most streamed TV shows streamed. Now I know that like syndicated, like Friends and all that stuff is still running and being watched, whatever. But the 2 most streamed shows of all time, number 1 is Game of Thrones and number 2 is Stranger Things. So I'm just going to leave that there for you guys. Just going to leave that there. I'm kidding. And this also is not a, buy this stuff. This is I'm just showing you my nerd list of recent purchases. So yeah, that takes us back to July 1st. All right, let's get back up here. Yeah, Derek Carr. Yeah, I mean, there's so much parity in the NFL, though. Like everyone's saying, oh, the NFC South is terrible, including myself. But who knows? Like football is weird. You have an injury. You have, there's guys that'll step up that you didn't think will step up. It's the NFL. It's football. So we'll see. The NFC South, it looks like it's not very good. Maybe they'll be tough. We'll find out. Yeah, Lamar Jackson. Okay, Mangini likes the 2017 Prism set. I love that set. I love the design of it. I like the design of 2018 better, but I like the fact that Mahomes rookie sits in that set, so it kind of gives it a little bit of that extra oomph to me. Kind of in the same fashion as probably like, now I'm not saying that Mahomes is Mickey Mantle or, Joe Montana to the 81 top set or something. It's kind of like that big player that makes that kind of puts emphasis on that set. But yeah, the 17 and 18 Prism set design is really, really cool. Stoned Collector. Well, it comes and goes, man. Like it's not, I don't have like an endless budget by any stretch. Not by any stretch. Oh, the raw gold is on eBay. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll see what the price point is compared to what a graded version is, and we'll see. He could surprise. That's my thing. I know I sound like Vegas Dave, but he's actually on a team that's in a bad division. I think the big question mark is, will our defense show up? He hasn't had good defenses, and the Saints defense is aging. Demario Davis is kind of nicked up. Cameron Jordan is 33 years old or something. I mean, we need some of our young guys to step up on defense. So, I mean, there's a lot of question marks, but if we can kind of put it together a little bit, Michael Thomas can actually show up and play for us. We just need Michael Thomas to catch 3 or 4 balls and be a third down receiver and have Chris Olave stretch the field, that sort of thing. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Any more thoughts on the national pickups? My only pickups, Orlando from the national, I think I showed them earlier, but it was a light blue Brady. And that's from 2017. And then the 18 blue scope numbered out of 99. And let me just show this one more time for those that might have missed it, because I think it's important, especially it doesn't matter if you're collecting modern football or modern basketball. This is something that's important to kind of check. I know for for you and Mangini, that this isn't any news to you all, but if you look at like 2017, the parallel list is short if you're comparing this to the new sets. And that's what I like about these. It's like the perfect, it's a perfect blend of the design. It's also pre-boom, so you don't have the same sort of overprinting. I'm not saying that 2017 is rare, but you don't have the same sort of print runs that you would in 2022, or 2020, 2021, that sort of thing. So, I just like the fact that that's a little bit more basic on the parallel list. It makes it a little bit easier to figure out, okay, what's rare, what isn't, what are the price points, and so forth. I'll just leave that up just for fun. Old Alvin Kamara. I hope that he can kind of just squeak out another few years with us. I hope that he doesn't do the thing where he kind of hits the wall at, 30, 31 and then, ends up playing, kind of does the journeyman thing, which a lot of guys do. I mean, he might be a Le'Veon Bell for, the Steelers fan, John Mangini, you never know, I mean, Le'Veon Bell was, for a couple of years, he was the best running back in football he was a fantasy football machine, Le'Veon Bell. And then it just fell off a cliff. He held out, and then he came back and I don't think he was the same guy when he came back for he played for the Jets, I think, so that's the sad part about football. You get some good years with a player. You kind of, as soon as you get used to having them and you get used to that production, and then they're off somewhere else or they're injured or whatever. Hey, Josh, I don't only buy off eBay, but I would say a lot of it is on eBay or private sales. I've gotten more. I'm actually, there's some things I'm eyeballing coming up on Hakes auctions, because I collect a variety of different things. I've got, I just showed a Thundercats lunchbox. I've got sealed Mad Balls from the 80s, and then I've got sports cards and action figures that are sealed, a huge variety of things. So, but, to answer your question, I'm not buying a lot off Alt or PWCC or Golden or, I would say eBay is probably my primary spot, for buying cards, but I know that there's deals in a variety of different places. I wouldn't say I love Derek Carr. It's more, I think, preseason excitement for my team. And then coupled with nobody cares about this dude as far as like hobby card prices or anything. There is zero love. There's more talk about Sam Howell. There's more talk about Sam Howell than there is Derek Carr, who's actually done a few things in the league. There's more talk about the Falcons QB, whatever his name is, Ritter. I was kind of messing with, Jeff Wilson. Everyone gives Jeff Wilson hell about Ritter, but Derek Carr's actually shown that he can play in the league. What's up, AG Cards? Good to see you. Star Wars versus Stranger Things is comparing apples to oranges, though, Sean. So I kind of view Stranger Things as more of like Star Wars in 1979, 1980. That's how I view Stranger Things. Stranger Things cards began in 2018. The actual show began in 2016. There's promo cards that go back, before 2018. But this is a new show, a new universe, if you will. There's going to be a play in London that's Stranger Things. It's going to have some prequel stuff that'll wrap in, with the actual show. So this is apples and oranges here. You have a long history. It's kind of like Marvel cards. Marvel cards, the shout out Pancake Analytics. There's 40 plus years of Marvel cards. There's Marvel cards from the 60s. So 60 years. Stranger Things is relatively new. But to think that Netflix is not going to wrap in, spinoffs and prequels and off of their most successful original show, I don't know. I mean, it could be that it all ends with season 5, but money talks. When shows make money, magically they happen to go on, like with Star Wars. Okay, I see what you're saying. Star Wars is more liquid. Yes, because there are, and this is another thing I love about Stranger Things. No, there are no Stranger Things collectors. Very, very, very few, Sean. I mean, I literally bought, okay, so this is arguably the best Stranger Things card outside of the one of one version. It's the 2018 Millie Bobby Brown blue number to 10 auto. I knew the guy that had this. I know another guy that has another one, and those are all the ones that I know of. So there's 2 out of the 10. I know where they are. Actually, there's a third one that's in Japan, I believe. I know where it is. But I mean, there's a handful of Stranger Things collectors out there, and I know most of them. But that's kind of fun. It's kind of like, Michael Jordan collectors in 2015 or previous. And now they're like, oh my God, now everyone buys Michael Jordan. I'm sure Mangini's, collecting, Babe Ruth, or collecting whoever, baseball player. And I'm sure you could get that stuff going back 5-7 years, way less expensive. Now it's like, oh, everybody wants this now. Everybody wants vintage baseball. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute so I can yell at my dog. Sorry about that, guys. It's a spec play. You're right, AG. It's strictly a spec thing. It's just, here's a fun, and he happens to be on my team. He happens to be on my team. So I'm already cheering for the team. It's just kind of a fun thing. With some luck, that's every team though, man. That's every team. I mean, it's the NFL. There's so much parity. Yeah, exactly. Alontae Taylor, there's a lot of excitement around him. On the other side, we also have he's having a really good camp, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. Cornerback. Oh gosh, it starts with a P, and I cannot think of his name right now. But we do have some young players in the secondary that we really need to step up. And yes, you're right. Being in the NFC is awesome right now. Thank God we're in the NFC. I do not want to be in the AFC with all those beasts. Don't want to deal with that. You're going to have literally great quarterbacks, great teams that just fall by the wayside because it's the AFC. I mean, you look at the legacies of Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert. If Mahomes keeps winning titles, I think that adds to the mystique of Mahomes, is the fact that he ran through this gauntlet of all these guys. And if he holds them back, kind of like a Michael Jordan held all these other guys back from winning titles, that's going to be, I mean, as far as legacy goes. One thing I will say, though, about Mahomes, I watched that show Quarterback on Netflix. My wife and I watched the first couple episodes. And man, he does so much different stuff with his body in the offseason to keep him going. But just his style of play and some of the hits that he's taking. I saw his trainer, so one of his trainers was like, he has a really strong spine, Patrick Mahomes, talking about, and I'm just thinking, like, I don't think it's good that, this guy, he's always throwing at a weird angle. If you think about like rotator cuff and all this stuff, his dad was a baseball player. So maybe, maybe genetically he can handle it, but man, I just don't know. Can Mahomes do the things that he does post age 30, or is he going to have to adjust and become more of a pocket passer, a la Tom Brady, Drew Brees, etc.? I just don't know, man. When you watch some of the stuff he's doing now is so incredible, but the shots that he takes and also just the way that the stress he puts on his body to make certain plays, you love the competitive spirit, but Tom Brady, Drew Brees sitting there, pocket passers, they're not trying to be heroes out there. They'll scramble 5-7 yards to get a first down, but they're taking hits in the pocket, but they reached a point where they just got the ball out in 2.9 seconds. And Mahomes can do that too, but he's more known for stretching the play, Roethlisberger style. I just don't know. Like, I mean, Roethlisberger is a big guy that he went to 35, maybe 36 and broke down. I just don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't see Patrick Mahomes playing at this level at age 40, late 30s, in the same capacity. I do agree. I thought Kamara might get suspended for more games. So, well, I don't know about banned for life. I don't agree with you there. I mean, yeah, it was, he got into basically like a bar fight. So as far as I know, I mean, I don't know. Again, I didn't read the whole thing. But stuff happens. Paul says eBay is still the best marketplace. With auctions, you can identify who truly wants to sell and can take advantage. A lot harder at live shows. Shout out to the eBay folks. I am an eBay affiliate, guys. At the top of the chat, I did put my eBay affiliate link. If you happen to be eBay shopping this weekend and you want to support the channel a little bit more, I don't have the PayPal donation thing or whatever. That's one way that you can do it. I do get people that reach out like, hey, can I send you a PayPal? And I don't want to do that. So if you happen to be, no pressure whatsoever. Yeah, $300 still cheaper than $23,000 for car. Yeah, it's a few $100. I do collect comics, Brandon. I do. I've got quite a few graded comic books. I don't have them nearby me. I do. Well, I have a couple on my shelf over here, but I've got 90s stuff like The Simpsons #1, CGC 98. I've got Beavis and Butthead #1, CGC 98. I've also got like a Hulk #4 from 1963 or 4, CGC 35. I've got Fantastic Four 52 in a 6, CGC 6, first appearance of Black Panther. So yeah, I wouldn't say that at all. Sports Card Yankee, not even close. I just happen to be buying I guess like more volume over the last couple of weeks, and I just figured out what the heck. I'll just kind of run through it. All right, we don't need to share that anymore. I think everybody got the point. AFC was pretty weak until Tom Brady took over. NFC QBs were dominating. Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, yeah, go back to the 90s. Troy Aikman, Brett Favre really owned the 90s for the Packers and the Cowboys. And then the 2000s were owned by Tom Brady, obviously. Well, the 2000s and the 2010s, for that matter, with other people winning, kind of sprinkling in, titles. But you're absolutely right. Rodgers got one, Brees got one, Tom Brady got 75. He got most of them. The fact that he went to what did he went to 10 different Super Bowls, or did he go to 9? He went to 9 Super Bowls. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. In 20 seasons, he went to 9 Super Bowls. That is insane. Yeah, the 80s Montana with the 49ers. Yep. Absolutely. And then the Bears won in 85. The Bills went to 4 dang Super Bowls. Unbelievable. I don't collect hockey cards, Jeff. No, I don't. There's stuff that I want. There's Gretzky and Mario Lemieux stuff. But it's one of those things where you can't do everything. And I'm not I watch playoff hockey, and I've been to live hockey games. They're a lot of fun, but I'm not a huge hockey fan. Not a huge hockey fan as far as like following a team and having, some long-standing fandom for it. Yeah, I mean, I've got some stuff that's going back. I like the Red Grange, the pre-war stuff, but I do have, if you're new to my channel, I do have Bart Starr. I've got a Unitas rookie card. I've got 2 Unitas rookie cards, one in a 4 and one in a 6. I did have a Montana rookie in an 8, and I recently sold it just to move into other things. It's not a rare card, so I could get back into it. Have about 200 Montanas, rookie card through retirement, and then some of the releases over the years. Yeah. Montana was such a great player and just kind of forgotten thanks to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has just taken over the conversation of great players, as far as, well, it's just because he did it for so long. He was playing for really the last 20 years. This is the first year we're not going to have Tom Brady, in what, 23? Wait, he did it for 23 years? Is that right? And then Breeze was playing for 20 years, 21 years. I mean, we don't have Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, or Tom Brady anymore. That's kind of weird to think about. Yeah, pre-war football is cool. I just have a ton of respect for the guys that went out and did it without any sort of, real pads, or, they're out there with leather helmets. They've got second and third jobs in the off season. It's truly for the love of the game. That's why pre-war is just so incredible. Even post-war. I mean, it's not as if these guys were making millions in the 50s. I think Joe Namath was one of the first guys that really started to make money in endorsements and that sort of thing. But for a long time, these guys didn't make any money. So yeah, I have a deep appreciation for the folks that came before. I don't really know if Peyton Manning is undervalued, because there's a fairly strong collector base now for Peyton Manning stuff, especially the really rare stuff. A couple that I can think of, Drake's PC. He's also a huge Drew Brees collector, but he's a big Peyton Manning collector, and he's always talking about kind of, the different grails. I know there's people that collect Peyton Manning. He's got a pretty decent collector base. I don't think he's flying under the radar, maybe as he was 5 years ago. If you go back 3 to 5 years, kind of pre-pandemic, there's probably a lot of great deals to be had, not just on Peyton Manning, on a lot of things, but certainly on Peyton Manning. All right, guys, I'll probably wrap up here in the next couple of minutes. I can't believe 83 of you showed up on a Saturday morning. I appreciate that. This was fun just to kind of run through. I thought it'd be kind of cool just to go through recent purchases as opposed to, just making a video, and trying to talk through it and like taking pictures and trying, and editing it all in. Oh, I got to hang around for a few more minutes. We got Mike O. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, if you're just joining, I was sharing my eBay purchases for those to make fun of me, and really nobody. I was hoping for a little bit more trash talk, but there wasn't really that much. I was Vegas daving into some Derek Carr cards and Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I didn't want to keep scrolling down because I actually bought 9 cars as well. If I had kept scrolling, it would have showed all the vehicles. Bob, hope you're doing well, buddy. Peyton is underappreciated. Problem is he's got a million rookie cards and they drag each other down. Yeah, he has a million rookie cards. Here's the thing here's my takeaway from Peyton Manning from watching him for a long time. Peyton Manning to me was the best ever regular season quarterback. He did win 2 titles, but this guy was literally like how many times did the Colts win the division while he was there? They had so many opportunities, but not just like they snuck into the playoffs. I mean, really solid teams. And Peyton Manning, as good as he was in some moments, there was a lot of clutch moments where he just did not make that play. Right now I'm thinking about the guy it reminds me of right now, currently, is Josh Allen. And I'm not saying Peyton Manning is Josh Allen and vice versa. Josh Allen's got a long, long way to go to get to a Peyton Manning type player. But Josh Allen, when it comes to the key moments, he's made big mistakes, big fumbles, big interceptions. I mean, really, Peyton Manning lost the Super Bowl to the Saints on a pick 6. Tracy Porter picked him off towards the end of the game, took it to the house, and the game was over. Does Tom Brady throw that ball? He didn't. I guess that's the thing is if you look back at, really Tom Brady's Super Bowl runs, there aren't any glaring, big time glaring mistakes. I'm not saying that Tom Brady did everything right. He never threw an interception. He did, but it's just not quite the same. Peyton Manning just could not get over the hump in some of those big games. And Drew Brees is the same way. Drew Brees is the same in that regard. He had some big moments. We did win the Super Bowl, but there's big games that we just did not come out of. We didn't win them. All right. Sooner, I don't have anything for sale at this point on eBay. I usually consign with DC Sports 87, just kind of lower end stuff. And then occasionally I'll sell stuff on eBay, but it's here and there. It's very here and there. I don't have anything up currently. What's everyone ripping this weekend? I am not going to be ripping any. That's not really my style, Jeff, but throw it in the chat. That's a good point. I guess how often players search for on Google, how that relates to their card values. I don't know. It seems, there's a lot of things that don't make sense with card values, but I think that's part of what's fun for collectors / speculators / investors, whatever. It's fun. Yeah, especially if you're looking over the last few years. Mike, I was just sharing a screen. 2017, I look at 2018 Prism as kind of that last year where they had a regular number of parallels for football. I can't speak to basketball, and then after that, it kind of started to go bonkers. And that's why I collect a lot of that 2012 to 2018 parallel stuff is my go-to for the Brady and the Breeze stuff that I'm looking for. I did pick up Kamara. I picked up a couple of gold Prism Alvin Kamara cards from 2021 and 2022, but they're numbered to 10. And so that's why if I'm going to go with that newer year, then I have to go gold. It's like there's no for me. I'm going to go ahead and spend. It was $60 for the gold numbered to 10. So great. And also the gold is a color match for the Saints, so it works out perfectly. Who are we talking about, Sooner? Really, all 3 of those guys did it. If we're talking about Breeze, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, all 3 of them did this, what you're talking about right here. Manning have a rookie card by different card companies. Yeah. That's going back because Manning was a rookie in 99, not 98. He's got 98 Bowman. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a variety of different things. Yeah, we needed that one. We needed that one sooner. We had to have that Super Bowl. I mean, we had to have it. We were in dire need for that Super Bowl win. Maiko's doing a case of 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum. Good Lord. Hope you get monster hits, Mike. I don't know baseball very well, but what are you looking for out of that set? I'm sure Ohtani, anything out of any set going back 2018 forward, you probably take it. But who are the big kind of pulls out of that? J-Rod or probably not? Maybe. Yeah, Brock Purdy. I was really impressed by Brock Purdy, though. And yes, he plays for a really, really good team. But I thought he was pretty damn good in some of the game. I mean, some of the games I watched, he made some amazing throws. So Purdy's one of those guys I'm paying attention to. I don't own any of his cards, but he's an interesting dude. Do giveaway old man. Well, that's really motivating me to do a giveaway. Hall of Fame, HOF, all rise. Yeah, for the newer stuff. Absolutely. The best Stranger Things for hits. What is the best Stranger Things for hits to buy? So the season one going back 2018 it's about $400 to $500 for a hobby box. But I don't do breaks or open $400 or $500 boxes. So I don't, it's kind of tricky. Yeah. And also for the autographs, and also the main hits are autographs. There's Christmas lights cards, which are one of ones, the autographs, which vary 1 of 1 out of 10, out of 25, out of 50. You've got waffle parallels that are numbered out of 11. So there are some cool hits, within the boxes, but it's just one of those, are you a fan of the show? I mean, if you don't really, if you're just not really into it, there's a million other things to buy than Stranger Things stuff. Okay, so for sealed wax, I've got the only other boxes that I've got are 2020 Prism football and 2020 Optic football. I've got 8 blaster boxes, and then I've got a few of kind of like the mega boxes. It's all retail stuff. I don't have any hobby boxes. I think I'm going to sell the 2020 stuff, though, leading up to football season. I think I'm going to put them up here in the next couple of weeks. Not that I, don't like that stuff. It's just there's other things that I want to get into. But I like that 2020 product because it's got Herbert, Burrow, and Jalen Hurts. You got 3 huge players, and it's also got Justin Jefferson in it as well. So I mean, if you look at draft classes, a lot of times sealed product is all about the draft class. 2020 football, it might be overprinted, but at least the players at least to now, again, maybe in a few years, we're looking back at that draft class like, it wasn't that good. But 2020 draft class, there's some pretty big names in it. Oh, and it's also got Tua, which I know he's had concussions and everything else. So, but you're looking at starting, Tua, Burrow, Herbert, Jalen Hurts. You got 4 starting QBs, and then you've got Justin Jefferson, some other rookies in there. So interesting. Top 5 all-time Saints is really, it's tough because we've got my favorite player, Bobby Hebert, one of my favorite players going back, just watched him. He wasn't one of the best Saints, but he was the first quarterback other than Archie Manning, to really have, with the Dome Patrol, really gave Joe Montana and the 49ers, they were in the same division going back to the late 80s, a run for their money. Everyone always talks about Joe Montana and, how great those 49ers teams were. We would always lose to them like 35-31 or, 17-13. We played them really tough. The Dome Patrol with Sam Mills and Ricky Jackson and these guys, I mean, they were a load to deal with. And it was back then where they didn't have the same sort of protections. They would hit you. There was no, not anywhere near the same protections. Hold on 1 second. I got to yell at my dog. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here in just a couple of minutes. Low numbered Mike Piazza. Mike, for the fun of the hobby as a buyer. 40 is the new 20 unless you're running a live stream, I've learned. I'm 42 and I run a live stream like a 42-year-old or maybe a 50-year-old. Okay, so looking for J-Rod. Hey, I nailed it. J-Rod. Okay, Bobby Witt, Wander Franco, Hall of Famers. Okay, cool. Well, that should be fun. 60 is the new 40. Absolutely, Orlando. Absolutely. You got a great head of hair too. Me and you have that. That's a strong point. That keeps you going. Selling 2023 score football. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is a little bit easier when I'm streaming with, well, you have to remember too, Paul, it's me plus Neo plus Steve. So it's 225 people in chat and then, it's rolling, there's a lot more going on. And then I'm also having to talk to them, listen to them. It's way different. Neo just skips through 20, things at a time. He's like, I'm caught up with chat because I never addressed any of it. That's basically Neo's story. Do you have any slab mags with the inserts for one touch? If so, how do they look in person? Yep, I've got one right here. So it's one of the new gold metallics. There's a lot of yellow on this. So you got the yellow insert. I actually wanted to use a black insert, but it didn't work properly. Or excuse me, I had a black insert, but it was for packs. So slab mags also has sealed packs. So if you have old vintage packs or something, you can mag those as well. Kind of cool. But that's what it looks like, John. I don't know if I have if you go to one of my videos in the video description, there's a 10% off code if you're interested. But guys, thank you very much again for looking at the last 30 minutes. I've been off of my eBay page, but if you go back to the first 30 minutes of the stream, I kind of go through some of my recent buys over the last 6 weeks. I didn't get heckled as much as I thought that I would. We had over 85. I think we had almost 90 people in here on a Saturday. So thank you very much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow with another video. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend.